everything like Barefoot, but
Yeah.
they can grow a lot of foot, and that's what we need for
Okay.
Quit moving
You
around.
need to hold still, sir. You're just happy to be out of this stall.
I know. He does good once you get a leg in the air.
Yeah. So we're gonna put glue on shoes. What kind of glue on shoes are they?
These are EasyCare.
So this horse had a hoof injury that we were dealing with. We think he banged his foot in the stall, and he's always had terrible feet, so we had to wait for these to come in. Hi, sir. Just be good.
Good boy.
So we have his sole shedding now. And we've had to keep him locked in the box stall, so excuse his behavior. He's not normally like this.
No, not usually.
Yeah, because it's been really, really wet out. And we've needed his feet to dry so we can glue them on, and his feet need to harden up too. I'll show you the injury when we get to the other side.
Yeah.
I still have any idea how he did that.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but I'm amazed he's still as sound as he is.
yeah. Excuse how dirty he is. He has shavings all over him right now, but he also has suffered from narcolepsy in the past, so I'm really grateful that he actually has shavings on him because it means he's laid down. So it's a blessing and a curse when you have a dirty horse and you've had issues with it.
Hey, back up. You just gotta see. Here.
Yeah. He's like, this smells like the stallion stall, because it was the stallion stall.
Good boy. Good boy. I promise you'll like those better than walking around barefoot.
Yeah. We'll get you out and exercise you.
And he's a very heavy horse.
Yeah.
Nope, this one. Thank you, good sir.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
This horse has never had very good sole, hoof growth, anything.
He doesn't have any sidewall either, hoof wall. You gotta be real careful.
I've tried every hoof supplement on the planet.
We've tried everything on him. I've tried every kind of shoe. He just can't keep going.
Hopefully this will work and our weather will dry out and that'll help too.
You're fine.
But it's better now that he's locked in, huh?
Yeah, his feet are actually starting to harden up a little bit.
Hi, Vincento.
Usually I'd take a grinder and scuff up their hoof wall. Hey, you can't do that.
He's like, well, I'm getting some attention. I'm out of the box. I made it out of the box.
It's like, I made it.
So why are you doing that?
This is what roughs it up and holds the glue.
Okay.
And a lot of people do X's and everything. I've figured out that this works really good. And it cleans it.
Yeah.
All in the same. You're fine, big guy.
So you said you normally use a grinder. Why are you not using a grinder on him? Is it
Because he doesn't have any wall.
That's what I was thinking.
So will you quit?
He says, I just want to make out with you, man. Sorry.
He usually chews on my head the whole time I'm doing it.
So you can see a little bit on that other foot from here, the hoof injury. It's pretty gnarly. Hey, don't come on top of me, sir. Okay, so what are we doing here?
So now we're gonna glue it on.
Okay.
Good boy.
This
So
is
a lot of
what-
people glue on the ground
Okay.
and then pick it up. I don't do it that way. We might have to with him, but generally I don't do it that way. I do it like this.
Oh, so it goes through the holes. I was wondering about that. Saran wrap helps it dry and stay
Yep,
on.
just keeps it on there. Oh boy. And then we hold it for a minute or two so it hardens up a little bit.
Okay. So this is the foot that has the hoof injury.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know if that will ever grow out or not. Who knows?
Maybe. Hard to tell with him.
Yeah.
These will help tremendously with it though. Because then we can get him back out.
And get that. So part of the problem is we've had to lock him up because we've had a lot of rain and snow and ice, and he can't go without shoes. But we didn't have enough hoof wall to nail to, and we had to special order
Yeah,
these because
I
of
mean-
the size of his feet.
There's nothing there.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get.
I know, this sucks.
My buddy, I'm sorry. That makes sense, though. You have to hold this one up so that
Once
one.
he figures it out,
Out, yeah.
then we don't have to do that. He'll just stay in there.
Okay.
But I don't want him to slip it off.
No.
Because he is so big. Mm-hmm. Usually we let him go run around before we do his shoes.
Yeah.
Blow off a little steam.
Yeah.
Not today, though. Huh,
Nope.
bud?
And your mom will give you a good brush later, sir.
It's fine. He's homeless. It's
Yeah, he
fine.
is. But I always said that he would have rather lived in Antarctica with the amount of hair that
I
this
know,
horse
this guy always has a ton of hair. Which is weird, because you'd think he'd have good feet with how much hair he has. But
Yeah.
Nope, he's got horrible feet. The worst feet out of any horse that you own.
Yeah.
It's him. But he's starting to get it now, though. We're not as squishy
That's good.
anymore, so.
Squishy's not good.
No. Hi, bud.
Hi, buddy. Hi. Hi, Vincento. I love you, sir.
He's like, no, you don't. You've kept me locked up since
Yeah.
last Wednesday to dry my feet out.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show you how bad that is.
It's actually better than it used to look.
It is a lot better. Literally, that whole piece was filleted open one day.
It was bad.
Called John and said, I don't know what to do. Help me.
And I said, I'll be right there.
Yes, you did.
I think I came out the day after Thanksgiving.
You did. I appreciate that. It's a lot of bar there, huh?
Yeah. But see, it's deceiving. You think you can go to there and you can't,
Yeah.
especially with him.
I've had a lot of farriers lame him because they thought that there was more there.
There's not as much there. I'm just glad I never have.
Yeah.
Then you'd see a lot of people, oh, cut more foot. Not on this guy.
And for the barefoot people out there, I've tried that.
Yeah, it doesn't work on this
Yeah.
horse.
No.
You can try it all day, but it's never
He's
going to work.
crippled. Tried it for long periods of time too.
It'll never work.
Because I don't actually want the headache of this. I do have some horses that have gone barefoot, and I know it's a lot easier. You don't miss, you don't have to worry about pulling shoes, but that doesn't work for him.
He can't go barefoot, period.
No, he just can't.
This poor guy would be,
Crippled.
yeah, in a matter of not even days, hours. When I was here last week?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
We don't do that. We don't do that, big guy. No, we don't do that either.
So how long did the glue on stay on for?
8 weeks.
Okay.
8 to 10 weeks.
Do you want to see him before that, do you think?
Yeah, I'll stop and look at him to see how he's doing with them.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping to get some more hoof growth is the deal, so.
It's like running them barefoot, but not barefoot.
Yeah. So what are you going to try to do to help that crack? I'm going to go around the other side.
There's really...
Hi, sir. Not much you can do?
Yeah. But it is growing out.
It is, yeah.
Because that used to be right here. So...
I don't know how that didn't get into the coronary band and permanently damage it. Beyond me.
I don't know. I'm not, yeah. My little wand doesn't tell me, so.
Yeah.
Are you done pushing on me? No.
And I'm going to push on my mom.
Uh-huh.
He's eating. I'm wearing a helmet right now because I just got off a horse and he's totally licking it.
Like I said, I'd like to clean this foot up a lot more, but
Yeah.
he does not have the hoof wall for it.
No, he doesn't.
And you don't really get road anymore.
He will though. He's
You
gonna.
do.
He's going to
But not
start
as
it.
hard as you used
No.
to get road.
No. Oh, buddy.
No, but I know, you want me to scratch you. Back up. Okay, give me this one.
So if you guys look at some of our other videos on the channel, you'll see it, some of him in turnout, some of him doing flying changes. Oh, he's enjoying that. Hi.
He likes cameras.
Yes, he does. He likes it when people look at him. Hello. Hello. Oh yeah, that's flatter, huh?
Bell boots, just in case.
Oh yeah. That's it, sir. Just step right over the toes.
Well, he's pretty good about not stepping
Getting
on my
on the
stuff,
video,
which
yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's an old man. Okay, no. We just said that you won't step on the stuff, so don't do it.
Yeah,
okay.
don't step on my stuff. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
come on. I know. No. It's like somebody's paying attention. I like it. I'm like a child.
Oh, he's worse than a child.
Are you a kid? I've had him since he was 3. So,
He's a kid.
yeah.
He's a kid still. Getting a little gray in the face, though, bud.
I know.
Getting a little gray in the face.
Yeah, long in the tooth. He says, don't talk about me like that,
Don't
people.
let buddy-
Did you see him hit the camera when I said
know.
that?
It's like, don't you talk dirty about me like
Yeah, you're
that.
going to put that on the internet.
Thank you, bud. Put it down. Thank you.
So for the fit on these, what are you looking for?
You just want it to fit just like a normal shoe.
Okay,
So I got him 146s
okay,
because I wasn't sure how big he was. I measured his foot, but his foot's so screwed up.
yeah.
So, I'd rather go too big than too small. I can always shrink them down. I can't stretch them out.
Okay,
No. Hey, you gotta go that way, just a smidge. Okay, thank you. These work really good. These are my favorite shoe. This is what I run on my road course. They're expensive.
does it have better breathability on the
Yes.
bottom of his feet
Yes.
than a pad?
Yep, total. Let me see this one.
So what are some reasons that you would put a glue-on shoe on besides?
They don't have hoof wall. They don't like nails to be nailed into them. I got a
Okay.
lot of horses like that
Okay,
that don't like nails.
okay,
A lot of people don't like the fact that you have to drive nails in their horse's foot.
Yeah, okay.
These you do not. So
And you said you have to let it dry about an hour, right?
no, 15 minutes they'll be dry. I just
Okay.
like to wait an hour before we turn any horses out.
Yeah.
In the summer, you'll see us dunk them in water
Really?
because they cool too fast.
Okay.
It builds too much heat for the horse. Hi, big guy. And upsy daisies.
Oh, yeah, so you got to hold it up, right? Again.
Just
so-
because he likes to paw the ground.
Yeah. You would never be a problem, Wincento, would you?
Never. There's never been one.
Yeah, it'll be nice for that sole to breathe.
Yep. And then if he's still coming up tenderfoot, they make a insert for these.
Okay.
I don't think he will. This will be way better for him.
Yeah.
So he was doing good with no shoes on the back.
Yeah.
Until we started using them again.
I give a lot of credit. We're talking about how good he is with his feet. I give a lot of credit to not only me when I handled him when he was younger, but the farriers that worked with him as a 3 and 4-year-old, and even before that. I think everybody did a really good job of maintaining his manners.
Yeah, you can't be mean to him.
No. No.
He's a horse that does not do well with discipline.
No.
He gets his feelings hurt. Mm-hmm. Huh. 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 Right here. Right there. You've been sweating, bud.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna fall over.
I've just been not wanting to take him out on really anything that was hard.
Well, no, because he's got no swing.
Yeah.
It might look like it in the video, but he does not. Mm-hmm. And next time we'll do an update video on him too.
Yeah. Yeah, so he'll get a good brushing, take him out of his stall so his stall's not covered in hair.
Yeah. What's up, kiddo? Hey, can you go over to Bob's and get that calf 1/2 cc of bandine underneath the skin? Okay, thank you. Yeah, just pick it up and just go sub. All right, just 1/2 cc. Okay, thank you. Look, look.
Sick cow.
Yeah, sick calf. It's probably not going to make it, but we're going to try our best.
Yeah, that's all you can do sometimes, right?
Yep, that's all you can do. All right, big guy. Let's look at your back feet. They look pretty worn down.
Yeah.
Feel them. Really? When did you start doing that? Today. Just today. Feel a little sore out of those. Hard to do anything but if you got a leg in the air.
Yeah, well, and he's probably going to be stiff from standing
Oh, he's
around.
going to be stiff and he's a little crabby right now, to say the least.
Can't blame him.
No. And with him, everybody's like, push the frogs off of him. No, I try to leave as much frog as I can on him.
Why do you like to leave frog on?
Because it's a shock absorber and it pumps blood back up their legs. And he needs all the blood flow we can get to him.
Yeah. I know, I'm thinking about getting certified to do AccuScope MyoPulse. And he's one of the horses I think that
He'd
that
be a
would
good
really,
candidate for
yeah.
it.
Just all costs money, John.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Trust me. I know. I was just looking at a swimming pool for my horse.
Were you?
Yeah. But they're so expensive. Yeah, you can see right here, he has 0 hoof wall. There's nothing there. That's his white line. Nothing there.
Okay. You know, and so just so you guys know, we live in rural Nevada too, so it's not like we have a ton of farrier shops to rely on. How many are there?
2.
Okay, yeah.
Well,
So,
1, and then who I get my glue-ons from, that's all she does is glue-ons.
and so You know, in our area too, these warm bloods and this size feet are not very common either.
No, they're really hard to get. We waited 3 weeks for these shoes.
Yeah.
But I ordered 4 pairs of them.
Thank
So
you. Yeah.
we have what we need for him. Nope. Okay. No.
Oh, sir, handle that. Give him his foot.
And I want him to. Where are you going now?
Everywhere.
Bye.
He's just happy to have the outside
I know.
world.
He's happy not to be locked up. Knock it off. I gotta set that shoe a little forward.
Yeah.
Is what I do it. So they don't make Heinz in the size he is.
Okay.
So you have to use front. So you have to get kind of creative on how to make them work.
Well, of course, my horse requires something weird.
But I think we can drop down one size in the
Okay.
backs to be able to get a set of Heinz because they
Okay.
do a 138
Okay.
for the Heinz, which I think will fit him just fine. But we were trying to do whatever we could
Yeah.
to get him comfortable. So.
And get him back out among the living.
Yes, because he's not with the living right
Oh,
now.
no. Stall
Generally-
rest is not good for
Generally,
anybody.
I put a lot more glue in, but he does not have the greatest hoof wall, so I would rather have the shoe come off
Okay.
than him tear his foot off.
Okay.
And once we get a little more foot and everything, then we'll start doing it a little differently.
Yeah.
But for right now, less is more with this guy.
You guys hear that good old Nevada wind in the background?
We should have done this yesterday
Oh, gosh,
when we
yeah.
had 70-mile-an-hour wind.
You guys will see how awesome our training is.
Yeah,
Not every horse would just be standing here right now.
no. It's like when we go cowboy and this stuff, our horses are fine with it.
Yeah. The only way you get fine with them, they
Is
only
doing it.
Yeah, that's it. None of this, oh, it's windy today, we're not gonna work them. I mean,
That doesn't work.
yeah,
That doesn't work. When we get a phone call, we gotta go.
yep.
Oh, bud. And it's over, just like that.
He's like, did something happen?
He's like, what? So if he does tear these off, find it.
Okay, yeah,
Because I can peel the glue and we can put it right back on.
okay.
So
Well, I don't plan on giving him his paddock until it's dry. We're supposed to have nice weather for the next little bit.
yeah.
And so
But you
when
can-
he's out of his stall, he'll be with me.
okay. Yeah,
So it should be
he needs to-
easier.
He needs to go run around.
Yeah, he does. He deserves to go run
Yes,
around.
he does. He's had about enough of our
Yeah.
keeping him in hostage in
Yeah.
a 12 by 12 box stall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bud.
Yeah.
If we had a bigger one, we'd put you in a bigger one. But you know, it's not like we can get him up to the barn, the big barn where we have bigger stalls.
No, and we had,
A foot of snow here.
yeah, and ice.
Yeah.
And then it goes from snow to ice.
And then to flooding. This is my foot. I'm keeping it. From here on out.
It's like, you don't need a foot.
This is mine. I like this horse a lot.
He's very smart.
He's too smart. He'll outsmart you every time.
Yeah.
Bet you he's fun to ride.
Very, very fun. Very powerful. So years ago, I had a cowboy working with me and him, and he joked that he was a bull roping horse.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, yeah. He taught him how to rope.
He is.
He knew how to do a calf. I told him at that point he was young, and I was still trying to go pre St. George, and I said, no, I said, I don't want him to get in a wreck with a bull.
I bet you could drag a lot on him.
Yeah.
He's like Diamond. He's powerful.
Yeah.
That's why all my buddies make fun of me because I ride really big horses, and I'm like, I got to be able to drag stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like riding little horses. I'm not a little guy. Huh. Can I chew on my lead rope?
Oh gosh. Well, you've seen the lead rope. It's definitely a pacifier.
He had a black one for a while. I don't know if it was his or what, but he chewed through it.
Well, you know,
Oh, bud. Yeah, that's when we were always trying to keep shoes on you.
Uh-huh.
He made me feel like a really horrible farrier. Because I couldn't keep shoes on this horse. I tried everything, casting his foot, building foot. We tried everything.
We
so
did.
another cool thing about these is you can get these tabs that go where the holes are. And it's for stall rest horses, and you super glue the tabs on.
Oh,
And then you can snap these shoes on
okay.
and then take them back off.
That's cool.
She's like, you should try that on that horse. And I'm like, not him. That would never work.
No.
Would never work. Yeah, you see, you even agree with it.
So should I be careful, like hosing them off,
Nope.
that kind of stuff? No,
Not at all.
it'll be fine.
Once these are dry, this stuff, I mean, this is what we build foot with.
Okay.
And I nail through.
Okay.
So it's strong.
Okay.
So once they're set, they're set.
Okay.
I've only ever lost a couple shoes. Ever. With glue-ons.
He says, don't give me a challenge.
I already know he's taking one off.
Yeah.
It's who he is.
Yeah.
Him and River.
Yeah.
River was always, oh, I got new shoes, watch this.
I know.
I can peel it right off. You good boy. I know. You're getting tired of standing on three legs, aren't you? Yeah. No. No. Hey, hey.
You got one more, Vincento. I don't know why they always manage to get the stuff underneath them. It's like a
don't know.
game, isn't it?
Well, that's why I never bring my tray out, because they all knock it over. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, why don't you have your tray? I'm like, because they always knock it over.
Yeah.
I have like, I have like 2 horses that won't knock it over.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
Chief is one of them that will not knock it over.
Yeah.
He knocks it over every time.
Chief is very much a gentleman in a lot of ways.
He's one of the best ones you have. For
Yeah.
absolutely everything.
He's $1 million horse.
For hoof care, he just stands there. He doesn't care. He doesn't like being hot shoed, but he'll tolerate it. It's not his favorite thing we do to him.
Is that all kinds of thrush in there?
No, just sawdust. No, he actually doesn't have any.
That's great.
Easily enough.
Well, we've been drying them out.
Will you quit? Will you quit? He's actually doing better than I thought he was going to do today.
So there's a funny thing about my horses, and a lot of them do a lot better when I'm here because they know that I won't.
He is a complete ass if you're not here.
Yeah, because they know. I used to have this horse named Addie, and I swear her name was Addie for attitude. And
Probably was.
And I had a veterinarian that didn't like it when owners were around because normally they had the opposite experience, and where the horse's behavior would get worse around the owner. And he said it was hilarious though. One day he was working on her, doing her teeth, and she was being naughty about the shot and all this other stuff. And he said, no joke, Kristen, she heard the door open and your footfalls, and she knocked it off.
Well, good.
Yeah. He said, never mind. He said, I want you here every time.
I think I've asked you to be there a couple times on Missy?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with Missy. She's
just missing. Well, she was abused by a man. So that was part of her deal.
Yeah.
She was a horse that was confiscated. Hey, don't do that, sir.
Me and her get along really, really good.
Yeah, once she gets to know the guy and she knows that you're not going to hurt her, she's a lot better.
Yeah, we're pretty good friends now.
It's just sad. I don't know why. I mean, people people never cease to amaze me.
People should know. 80% of people should know. And don't take that the wrong way, people.
Yeah.
So there's these little knobs in there
Okay.
that grab a hold of it. That's why I rough it up the way I do.
Okay.
Thank you. No. Thank you. Head down, all the way.
That's the one he likes to rest.
There you go.
The one he had the hip injury on.
I never said walk away. I just said.
He's like, I'm an overachiever.
He's an overachiever, let me tell you what.
Yeah,
Glue-ons are a great option. I'm pretty sure that this is all there's going to ever be here in the next 10 years. It's glue-ons. I think steels are going to
Go
go to
away.
the wayside. I hope not. Because these are not cheap to do. Just the
Well,
shoes
but maybe if they
alone are
become more
expensive.
popular, then.
And they come a little more reasonable
Yes.
price. But a lot of farriers don't even like to do these. They don't know how. Because it's kind of a learning curve. I screwed the first 10 sets up I ever did. Just because, you know, you gotta, how long does it take for the glue to set? How long does it take for this, that?
Yeah.
You know. There's a lot to these.
Don't hit me in the head. You're going to make these people think I don't know how to film.
It's fine, Mom. You don't need to know how to film.
Oh, yeah. Mom, I need to knock you over, Mom.
He's knocked me over.
Oh.
Just being him.
Yeah.
You know, not trying to be mean about
Yeah.
anything, but just, you know, he's so big. He's like, oh, how are you?
Yeah.
You're a good boy. No, you're not going to stand on two legs. You're talented, but not that talented. Maybe when you were younger. No, my foot.
He was a dressage horse, but he really wanted to be a jumper. But he just didn't have the front feet to handle it.
No, not you couldn't keep shoes on him.
No. And
Even with clips on, he blows through them.
and he was already as a young horse, he started having coffin joint changes on the bottom. I think just because of the lack of sole.
Yeah, he doesn't have any sole depth to protect him.
Now, interestingly enough, when I got him from Germany, his feet were better. But then once he got to the California climate, they fell apart.
And then here, horrible.
Yeah.
Because we're so dry
Right,
here.
yes.
And everybody wants to say, oh, dry feet are good feet. Well, there becomes a part where they're too dry.
Yeah. It's that balance.
Okay, here, I'll pet you. I just don't want you to walk around. Okay, now we're going to take this leg.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that right one is the hard one for him.
Yeah,
to-
he doesn't like standing on this leg as much. Hey, enough of that. Enough of that.
You checking to see if it feels squishy at all?
Yep, it's not. So
Yeah,
now
that's
we're going to
good.
sit here for 10 minutes and wait for that glue to harden, and then we'll peel the
Okay.
steering wrap off.